All right, welcome in on a Thursday. I can't even believe how nice the weather is today. It's unbelievable. It's fabulous.
Last day of 70 for the year.
Savor to flavor. Probably be snowing in 2 days. So,
it actually will.
Is it really?
Yeah.
No.
Snow in the forecast in East Lansing, at least. I don't know where it's at.
We were going to start with something different because I got to be honest. We all looked at each other and went, it's just no more Lions. No more Lions. We'll get to 3 o'clock and then Lions. But, and partially, too, if you're like, well, why Lions? Okay, there is no storyline with Michigan. There is no storyline with Michigan State. And what we're about to do here is probably a bad idea, but at least it's interesting, so we're going to roll with it. That's why it's Lions. Because the Big Ten's an embarrassment. Because you don't get good games. Because it's really a two-team conference. It's you and Ohio State.
It got depressing, Mike. We taped the latest episode for the 5-Star Zone, and we were talking about the Big Ten West and what can they do to actually earn their keep. And we talked about facilities and recruiting. Like, what do you do? Because even your best is still fifth best in the East.
All right, hold on. I'll do a couple minutes on this because I'm passionate about it, and we can just, get to what we're going to get to anyways. Who are we kidding? It was Pistons related. The point is, there's nothing you can do because none of those programs have been, are now, or will ever be Blue Bloods.
See, there's where you're wrong.
Who?
There is one.
Who?
Coming to Ann Arbor.
Nebraska. You know what?
Nebraska is a blue blood. Now, they haven't been in a while, but they're one of those teams like Texas and like Notre Dame and like Tennessee. If they ever get it rolling again.
Do you know what Nebraska is? They're John McAfee. Used to be rich, famous, and are now just insane, destitute, and maybe dead.
I was about to say he's dead, right?
Well, so's their program. Look, they left the Big 12. They killed their chances.
Right. They left the recruiting base of Texas.
The point is, Illinois, no shot. Right. Iowa, no shot. Purdue, no shot. Northwestern, no shot.
I thought Minnesota would with P.J. Fleck.
No, hasn't happened. I know.
Thought P.J. Fleck would come in there and kind of do what Mel Tucker's doing and, just kind of always out there doing the weird things, quirky things to get people there. But Nebraska, Mike, that block in is a legitimate trademark logo that people know. And if they ever got it together.
Yeah, but they won't. They've had enough chances. They're far enough out. Look, I'm done waiting. So if you want to fix this, here are your two solutions. You can get two teams that fit in the West and put them out there. You know what? You're not going to get your act together. Mommy and Daddy are going to send you to camp. And you go get two brand names. For years, I begged the Big Ten to get Oklahoma and Texas. Begged. Put them out there with Nebraska. Put them out there with Wisconsin. Put them out there. Have a Plains division. But if you're not going to do that, then you gotta get rid of divisions altogether. And we got to play a round robin. 10 conference games, no divisions. Let's go.
I mean, because think about this. I don't know if you saw the artist rendering for what Northwestern's going to do with their new stadium. It's beautiful. To me, it looks like a little tiny SoFi stadium.
That's great. Whose house?
It's only going to hold exactly, though, because Notre Dame is the Rams of the Big Ten. Because whoever visits them, they take it over, and it becomes a home game for them, except you're watching your team wear white.
I'm just done with it. And look, I'm fine playing in the East. It's not like I'm asking for MSU to go to the West. I like playing Michigan. I like playing Ohio State. I like playing Penn State. But my point to you is we have a divisional problem in this conference to the point where if we don't get this fixed, it is going to begin hurting you in the 12-team playoff.
Mm-hmm. Because it becomes varsity and JV conference is what they might as well call them.
But the stigma of the Big Ten West and then looking at the schedule. And look, Michigan doesn't pick their crossovers. Ohio State doesn't pick their crossovers. But when you look at it, when you can't draw upon legitimate games from the Big Ten West, it hurts you.
Well, I mean, I think it's going to tell you that the Big Ten West champion lost to, well, they haven't, but if they lose to Michigan, they would have lost in their crossover games to Michigan, Michigan State, and Indiana.
All three Big Ten East opponents.
Yeah.
It tells you everything you need to know. So, look, if you want to try fixing it, there are your two solutions. It's why I don't believe in the Oregon and UCLA, and that doesn't fix the Big Ten West. Because plopping USC in the Big Ten West is a laughable idea. If they come out here, they're doing the pods. I'm saying get rid of the divisions altogether. Right here, right now, no matter what happens
No, I
with
think
expansion.
that's what it's probably going to end up being. So that way you can get your best teams.
That's it.
And it really just, now it does come down to scheduling.
And you got to play 10 conference games. You got to cover as much of the conference as possible to try to get as many good games as possible as often as possible.
You know the big boys don't want to see that.
Well, I can't help them.
No, I get what you're saying, but here's why you can't do 10 conference games, Mike. You're putting yourself at an unfair advantage. Like, they've already done that playing 9 conference games when you have the SEC playing 8. So you can schedule Little Sisters of the Poor in November, and while the Big Ten, like it or not, even if you're playing a bad Purdue team, it's still Purdue, and it's not, North Dakota State University.
But again, okay, hold on. And let me throw the number out, 248-539-9797. I'll give you a great example. Big noon kickoff. Ohio State, Indiana. Ohio State minus 41. Okay? That's the big noon kickoff. That's the best game they could put on TV this week.
No, that's not the best game. You know why they're doing that? Because they've been trying to hype up Ohio State, and they've been trying to hype up Michigan all year, Mike.
What's a better game? What's a better game? Go ahead. Tell me the game that gets me erect. Let's hear it. You've got your little trophy in front of you here. Tell me what gives me one of those in my pants. Tell me. What matchup? Is it Michigan State Rutgers?
No.
Sorry.
No. I mean, at this point, man, I would rather see Wisconsin, Iowa. If you want a competitive
If you want to see two teams that can't score in a brothel, this is the game for you.
If you want a competitive game.
Yeah, there you go.
This is a blowout.
See, Mike, you just brought up my question mark when it comes to this. We all know the West is horrible, but yet SEC $3 billion TV deal, and I get it's not just about football with these deals.
Okay,
$7 billion for the Big Ten.
Yeah, and
yet the West is awful.
Hold on, let Les Moonves over here take you through it. This is Rico Major Market Beard. Because they've got
I hate you.
New York, Chicago,
Yeah, they do.
DC. They got all the markets.
And I understand
They don't do
all that, but Iowa versus Minnesota,
David,
not a game I want to see.
Okay, do you want to see Ohio State bludgeon Indiana? Because at least with Iowa and Wisconsin, it'll be a game. It may be a low-scoring game, but it's a game. They're a 40-point favorite. 40.
That's Georgia Vanderbilt, if you want context. So the whole point I'm making, David.
That's Georgia Samford. Not Stanford, but Samford.
If I'm a Michigan or OSU fan, sure, I love getting 3 West crossover games. They're free wins. The point I'm making is, as the playoff expands, seeding is going to become more important. A bye week will become more important. If the Big Ten does not get its act together, that includes Michigan State, Penn State, Wisconsin, like, David, it's going to begin hurting us. Every other conference, not just because we do this show or the digital products we do, every week when I'm looking at the college football landscape, do you know the one conference that almost never makes my list of interesting games to talk about? This one. Yeah. The Pac-12 this week has several. We don't have a single game.
Well, think about it like this, Mike. It's because your 2 top teams, collective point spread is 71.5 between the 2 teams they're going to play.
Right.
71.5. You split they're saying nothing. Now, the big noon kickoff, it's that way because Fox has been building up Michigan, Ohio State the entire season. First half of the season, we follow Michigan. Second half of the season, we're going to follow Ohio State, and then we'll meet in Columbus on that final game. Plain and simple. If you want to show other stuff, if you want better games, there's other games out there. Now, I'm not saying it's the greatest game, but it's going to beat the Indiana-Ohio State game. Not a great representative, because anybody who watches that is going to be like, well, dear God, the Big Ten's just god-awful.
And that's my point. It is awful. So how do we fix it?
Well, one thing you can do is you can realign the division. If you're going to keep divisions, I've said it before and I'll say it again, you go back to the leaders and legends. I don't care if you call them Ren and Stimpy, whatever you want to call them, but they were good. They were actually fair divisions back then. There was every year there was a different champion. But right now, it's JV versus varsity. The Big Ten West has never won the Big Ten title game.
Then you would have to bring someone with OSU. Can't put them out there by themselves.
No, you know what? If that's the case,
they'll run roughshod.
If that's the case, you take Penn State with them. And that's how it was before. Penn State was with OSU in one division. Michigan and Michigan State were in the other division. And I think Wisconsin, was in the first, was over there with Ohio State.
They were. I mean, look, something's got to happen.
Yeah.
But you brought it up. I don't care. I'll always do a segment on it. I've had it. As someone who watches this stuff for a living, the Big Ten is largely unwatchable. We have a major divisional problem. And I'll tell you the other problem. And it's not breaking news. There's always been a gap between the SEC and the Big Ten, a gap athletically. Mm-hmm. I feel like it has never been more pronounced than right now, that if I sit down and watch any Big Ten game and then I watch any SEC game, I mean, the difference, it's never been bigger. The Big Ten plays some of the most uninspired, low-quality, unathletic football in America. And then when you factor in quarterback play is just about as bad as it's ever been, I don't know what to sell people. Like, I'm a Michigan State fan.
No, it's difficult to sell people. I think Ohio State, to me, Ohio State is not built for the Big Ten, as silly as that sounds, because they can't run the ball. And everybody in the Big Ten can run the ball. That's their pride and joy. Ohio State is built for a track meet. They're built for that neutral site game in a warm weather city.
Fast track.
To go up against the Georgias and the Alabamas and whatever. But it's their Achilles heel having to play so late in November, and when the weather's bad, they're not that good. But there's a reason for that, because they've said, screw the Big Ten, we're trying to win titles.
248-539-9797. Look, it's an open-ended conversation. But Fox Big Noon is OSU laying 41 to Indiana. Then you look around the conference. Michigan, 31-point favorites. MSU Rutgers, who cares? Oh, Iowa, Wisconsin. I mean, who cares?
How do we not disrespect the Floyd of Rosedale? Whatever that.
How do we fix the Big Ten? 248-539-9797.
It's a pig, David, I think.
It is.